In question 9, the discrete random variable x has this probability distribution, and our question says we just need to find the value of p. Well, what we know is that all probabilities would add up to 1. So all we really need to do is make ourselves an equation and then solve it. So I've got p squared plus p squared. Straight away I'm thinking that's 2p squared. I can sort of do a little bit in my head here. Plus p over 4 plus 4p plus 1 over 8 all equals 1. Okay, this looks like a quadratic equation, so what you should be thinking straight off is let's get rid of the fractions and make it as simple as we can, and let's also let it equal 0 so that then we can use the null factor theorem to solve it. So I've got quarters and I've got eighths here. I'm going to start by just getting rid of fractions by multiplying everything by 8. So 8 lots of 2p squared is 16p squared. 8 lots of this. Now if you want to put your working straight on, you could even do it like this. Multiply everything by 8. It's a good strategy just to remind you not to skip anything out. Also helps you with cancelling here. I can see I've got an 8 and a 4, so I can see that that's going to give me 2p. Here the 8's cancel directly, so I've just got 4p plus 1, and 8 lots of 1 gives me 8. Now I just need to gather things up. I've still got 16p squared, 2p plus 4p is 6p, and if I subtract 8 from both sides, it's going to give me minus 7 equals 0. So using the cross method, which is my preferred way of doing this, I'm going to try 2p and 8p, and I need factors of minus 7, and I'm trying to build 6. So if I put the 1 here and 7 here, that gives me 14p and 8p, and I can build 6 with that by doing 14 minus 8. So if you want to use the 2 pairs method, that's also fine. You get the exact same thing here. Or if you can't factorise it and you're not sure what to do, don't forget you can always throw the formula at this thing to come up with the potential answers for p. So don't spend all day trying to factorise if you're not good at that. Use the formula if you need to. So now I've got two sections here, either 2p minus 1 is 0 or 8p plus 7 is 0. So write those out like little equations and then solve them. Or 8p plus 7 is 0. Now with this one, 2p would be 1, p would be a half. And over here, subtracting 7 from both sides, 8p is minus 7, so p would be minus 7/8. Now it's tempting just to stop there and say, there we go, I've got 2 answers, finished. Any question about probability where you're finding a value for something, always double check what the question's actually asking and what p really is. Now here, p is involved with our probabilities. Sometimes it's squared and sometimes it isn't. Now this one here is the giveaway. All of these are probabilities, which means that they must be values between 0, which is impossible, and 1, which is certain. So if p divided by 4 is between 0 and 1, p has to be positive. So down here we've got 2 potential answers and one of them's negative, which isn't going to work. So you need to somehow show or just explain that this one is a potential solution but it won't actually work, toss it out and only keep this one. So how do we explain this? Well, I've run out of room at the bottom here, but at the bottom of my working, I'd literally just explain how I know that I need to toss this answer out. So I've worked it out based on this p over 4 needing to be positive. So I'd write, but I know that p over 4 is between 0 and 1. Therefore, p is positive. Just write it down like that, nice and simple. Therefore, p cannot equal minus 7/8. P equals a half. And I just put a box around my answer so it's really clear that's my finishing point.